What's up, everybody, and thanks for tuning in to another episode of Between the Cons. My name is Kris, and with me today, Kris Too.
Double the Kris, double the fun.
Was that like a Doublemint commercial? I don't... I'm so confused.
It is. Nope, it's our commercial now.
It's our commercial. Oh, great. We have a commercial for just me and you.
Bringing back the jingle.
Bringing it back. But anyways, thanks to everybody that's tuned into the show. Thank you guys so much for listening in. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. And when I say
Always.
Today, I mean 2 days into the future, because that's when we're recording this. It is Tuesday, March 28th. Happy anniversary, Mom and Dad, because I know you're probably not listening. It's okay. There's nothing for them on this show other than that. Big shout out to everybody that's hit us up on the internet this week. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you haven't followed us or friended us or however that works, you should do that.
You should.
Because we're all over the internet space. We're also on Snapchat whenever Dane snaps for us, because he's the only one that knows how to use Snapchat. And then big shout out to everybody that's left a review on the store as well, the iTunes store. Those things go a long way. So if you haven't done that, please do. They're basically the gold. They are the unobtainium of the podcast world.
So they're a ridiculous plot device?
Yes, they are a ridiculous plot device in a terrible movie. In a it's not terrible, in a less than great blatant ripoff of a movie.
There you go.
But visually stunning. But anyways, we got a pineapple episode for you today. We got a bunch of nerdy news. So you guys should stick around for at least the next 15 seconds.
We're gonna have a pineapple situation. What should I do? Pineapple. The word that cannot be spoken. Pineapple.
Just want to say pineapple. If
Pineapples are fun. My dad used to
Pineapple.
throw them at me.
Pineapple.
Seriously? Wow.
All right, so first up, just this past Saturday, we got a new trailer for the Justice League.
Justice League.
Yeah. Warner Brothers was teasing in the couple days leading up to the trailer. They were releasing like little mini teaser trailers for each character, little character posters. Not little character posters. They're regular size normal size posters for these characters. But if you guys haven't seen that trailer, you should totally head over to our social media pages and check out that trailer,
because it's on almost all of them.
Yep. In the trailer, I mean, we of course get to see Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, The Flash, Cyborg. We kind of get a nice little feature of each one of them, seeing them do their thing. What I thought was one thing that was interesting, of course, is one of the first taglines we had for this movie was "Unite the Seven." And I don't know if you guys can count, but I count 5.
So far,
we know that Superman is dead, but coming back soon, maybe by the end of the movie, maybe sometime, who knows. But that leaves the question: who is the 7th character? Of course, everyone thinks it's probably going to be Green Lantern,
right?
But I think it also could be really cool as if they surprised us with somebody else, like Martian Manhunter,
Hawkman,
or Hawkgirl,
Hawkman,
or Hawkman, or Hawkman, Hawkgirl, Hawkman. One of the Hawks.
Martian Manhunter would be dope. But can I tell you my least favorite least favorite rumor? It's kind of like an awesomely bad because everybody's dumb. Everybody is like super caught up on Henry Cavill coming in as Green Lantern. It's like,
what?
Guys, come on. It's like to the point where Boss Logic, who's like the big fan art guy,
right?
He made a Green Lantern fan art with him, and it's like, guys, he is Superman.
Yeah,
like he cannot play 2 characters. This is not an Eddie Murphy movie. Come on.
At the same time, though, could you imagine like nobody would see that coming if suddenly Superman, like in his death, he is like when he comes back to life, he is gifted a Green Lantern ring, and now he's Superman with Green Lantern, Super Lantern.
I think it'd be funny to see Archie Hammer Just because of the Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, there's so many guys that I would love to see play Green Lantern. I mean, personally, I want to see Jon Stewart.
Yep.
A Jon Stewart Green Lantern, but I mean,
Jon Stewart,
who knows?
the guy from The Daily Show, playing Hal Jordan, obviously, is what you mean.
Yes, that is exactly what I mean.
Yeah, I think he's a little old, but I think he could pull it off.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I mean, and here's
He definitely
the
has
thing.
the sarcasm down.
That's true. That's definitely true. And I mean, here's the thing about this trailer, guys. There's a lot of stuff that we're seeing. I mean, it pretty much, if you haven't seen it yet, it looks like more of the same from DC, meaning that DC makes really good trailers.
Yeah, they do. Trailers.
And then for the movies aren't as up to snuff as we'd like them to be. Hoping we'll be wrong with this one. Hoping this one lives up to it. But I'll say this for this trailer, even if the Justice League movie disappoints, one thing it did do for me is that it got me excited to see these solo movies. In particular, to see the Aquaman solo movie.
Yeah, and Aquaman doesn't look as much like a bad knockoff of Little Mermaid, so that makes me feel good.
No, he doesn't. And what I also appreciated about this trailer was, yes, I mean, Aquaman starts out and he looks like he's dark and brooding and really intense, but then he kind of quips a little bit in this trailer.
Yeah,
like
a little bit.
He makes a quip about he clearly meets Bruce Wayne before he sees him as Batman. Then when he sees him in the Batman costume in the trailer, is like, dressed like a bat. I dig it. And stuff like that, or when he's riding on when he's riding on top of the Batmobile and he's like cackling, laughing.
Yeah,
and it kind of reminds me of Aquaman from Batman: Brave and the Bold.
Yeah,
just the outrageous. So who knows? I'd love to see an Aquaman who can be really intense, but at the same time can have fun doing it. Kind of like how
a goober.
Yeah, kind of like how Wonder Woman clearly enjoys her fighting, has fun while doing it. So
yeah,
who knows, guys? But if you haven't seen it yet, go check out the Justice League trailer over on our social media pages. Pineapple.
So I'm really behind on this one. I'm just gonna let everyone know I am sorry because we haven't brought this up yet. But in early March, the news dropped that Avengers: Infinity War is going to have a budget of about $1 billion. That's $1 billion. That is 100. That is 1,000 million. 100 million.
That is insane.
That is 1,000 million.
It is 10 100 millions.
Yes, 10 100 millions. And that is so much money.
It is insane.
And I know that everybody listening is probably just like, yeah, duh, heard about it, read about it, what's up? I really hope that's not what our listeners sound like, but that's how I feel right now. Because this dropped over almost a month ago, and I just read it this past weekend, and I thought it was interesting enough to bring up. So just to put that in perspective a little bit, the most expensive single film was Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, and it was like $375 million, give or take some dollars. And the most expensive franchise was the Hobbit trilogy. Count them, three makes a trilogy, and that one was $750 million for all three movies.
Whoa, man! So
this movie is adding $250 million to that, and making one less movie. That is bonkers.
So certainly now the Marvel franchise is the most expensive franchise.
Oh yeah,
that is an insane amount of money.
Yeah, definitely. And the most interesting thing I read about it, and this part kind of makes sense, just because how many big name actors are going to be in this, but $400 million noted. That is 2/5, almost 1/2 of the budget is going to be for cast, directors, writers, etc. Whoa.
That is, I mean, but it totally makes sense when you've got your Robert Downey Jr.'s and Benedict Cumberbatch and Scarlett Johansson and Mark.
Chris
You've got all
Pine.
these.
Or not
big
Chris Pine,
name
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah, all these big name actors, and they want to have them. Samuel L. Jackson, like they want them all in this movie.
And not to mention the Russo brothers, who like, real high in the ranks.
Some of the most bankable directors in the business.
Yeah, so it's just crazy to me. Like when you break it down, saying that it makes sense is a very loose term, because you're saying that $1 billion, more money than I will ever see in my entire life, is justifiable for making like 4 hours of movie. But it makes sense. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. I'm crying.
But we'll see. We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah, hopefully it makes at least $1 billion back. Fingers crossed.
Ooh.
No, I mean, with the movies coming in that have come out in the past, making like $500, $600, $700 million in the box office, like I think they're okay as far as profit margin. It's just, that's a lot.
I mean, the movie will definitely have to be good, because I mean they're going to make a significant portion back just because people are going to want to go see it. Even if people haven't been keeping up with all the Marvel movies, it's like this is the big Marvel event.
Oh yeah,
everyone's going to want to see it. The thing that will make the difference is if the movie is good, they'll draw back repeat viewings and things like that. That will guarantee.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
To really.
And with it being a Marvel movie, the track record is a lot better than some other comic books.
Yeah,
publishing movies.
Yeah, and they also have all the money that they're going to make from toy lines.
Oh yeah, and like China's going to explode with this movie. So
yeah,
it'll be worth it. It's just that's just a huge sum of money, and that's really all I want to talk about. It's like a jaw-dropping statistic. But pineapple.
So guys, we've got American Gods, the TV series based on Neil Gaiman's book, is coming out on Starz April 30th. And they've just been slowly just releasing stuff to us. We finally got a trailer just a couple weeks ago. And I mean, everything about this show just looks so good. Yes. The design, and it's really exciting. And some people ask, how can you take a series that's based on one book and turn it into a series? And Neil Gaiman has said, like, yeah, they're going to do the book, but then he's also given them permission to build the universe, and he's going to be an executive producer on the show.
Yeah,
yeah. Which he's probably even going to end up writing an episode or two. So, all for that. But the news is that we just got 10 new character posters for American Gods,
and they are awesome.
They're great. They look so good. We've got the 10 featured cast members featuring Shadow Moon. Yeah, the gods, and our main guy that we're following in the story, Shadow Moon. We've got Shadow Moon, Mad Sweeney, the leprechaun, Mr. Nancy, the trickster god, Laura Moon, who is Shadow's actual dead wife in the series, Creepy. Mr. World, who is one of the new gods, Easter, the goddess of
resurrection.
I guess plenty, resurrection and plenty and all that stuff, Chernabog, the god of evil and death,
Disney villains.
Bilquis is the god of love. Technical Boy, the new god of technology, and Mr. Wednesday, the con man, who, if you've read the book, spoiler alert, is Odin. And these posters look really, really good. I particularly love Mr. Nancy. I think he looks really awesome. And for those of you that know the series, you know that he also features in the Anansi Boys, and there's talk about this series expanding into that too. So. Just go again. You can go on our social media and check out all these really cool posters. Just gives us an idea for the visual palette, what this show's going to look like.
Yeah, and it looks like it's going to look nice.
Yeah, I will say one thing. I thought it was kind of a weird choice that all the posters have the OMG.
Yeah.
Over it, it's kind of a weird tonal thing. It works for a Technical Boy because he's a god of technology and social media, and he's fed by people's obsession with media, with all that stuff. But it kind of seems like a weird choice for everybody else, but I get what they're going for. They wanted to tie all the posters together, so
yeah, and it's nice. It's a nice visual.
Yeah, it is, and it looks really cool. So yeah, we are just over a month away, or actually no, by the time this episode comes out, we will be a month away from this premiering on Starz, April 30th. So be sure to check it out, guys. Pineapple.
So James Gunn, kind of a hot topic lately. James Gunn with Guardians of the Galaxy 2 coming out.
Mm-hmm.
We know that Kurt Russell is going to be in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 playing Ego the Living Planet.
Ego. Yeah.
And James Gunn has been kind of sneaky. He's been sly, if you will, about what role Sylvester Stallone will be playing. Get it? Sly Stallone. But he has. I mean, he's been very withholding. The movie comes out in a month, and we still don't know who the guy's going to be playing. Like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a month and a half. But that's crazy. Like, we should know who this guy is now, but we don't. It's rumored that he's going to be playing a Nova Corps member, but we can't say for sure. But James Gunn was asked about Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone because obviously, with the exception of like possibly Samuel L. Jackson, these are the two oldest recurring cast members in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah,
or the oldest cast members in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he was asked if they will be recurring. And he said, this is definitely not a one-off for them. They're both characters that we've taken a lot of time to develop, and they're a big part of the MCU now. So, that's kind of cool. I really like Kurt Russell. I think he's a fantastic actor. He's been in a lot of really great films and played a lot of really great characters. Sylvester Stallone, though, I don't know how...
Who knows?
I don't know how I feel about it. I think it would depend on the role. Like, if he's playing, like, Rocky the space hero, like, that's fine.
Do you think he could be Nova?
I doubt it. Just because of his age. I doubt he will play Nova. Unless he plays the Nova that passes the torch to... Richard Ryder.
Yeah, or Ryder.
Ryder.
Yeah.
Oof. It's been a long time since I've
that's a
talked to Nova.
He doesn't come up as much.
But it would be interesting. It would be interesting if he was like the Nova that passed the torch to Richard Ryder, and that would make sense as far as his age. Sort of like he's not old enough to like die off unless they write it into some kind of write it off to some kind of alien lifespan kind of thing.
Yeah.
But or like maybe he dies in battle or something like that. I don't know. It's really interesting. Just the fact that they're both going to be recurring, especially with Kurt Russell, Ego the Living Planet. They pulled like kind of a Galactus thing with Ego the Living Planet. In the Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, they made Galactus just a giant cloud, which made no sense. And in this, they made like an actual planet into a person.
Yeah.
And they haven't really done a good job of explaining that yet. So hopefully they'll explain it in the movie. But I'm really interested to see how these two characters are going to shape up, as well as how they're going to continue on. Now knowing that they are recurring, and they will be recurring in the MCU. Pineapple.
Robot roll call.
I had a feeling you were actually going to read it like that.
Yeah, so I had to. Yeah, guys, Netflix has released their first trailer for the rebooted series Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Yay.
Which is just the best. Just the best. For those of you that didn't know that this was happening, original creator Joel Hodgson will be joined by comedian Jonah Ray, who is going to be playing Jonah Heston as the new host of the show. The guy,
which is awesome because they did that with Mike Nelson.
And it worked out so great. And I don't mean that to sound sarcastic. Like, it really did work out great. But Jonah Ray is going to be playing Jonah Heston, who is the new guy who gets captured by... this time it's going to be Felicia Day playing Kinga Forrester,
which is perfect.
Who's following in her family's footsteps to resuming their testing of these subjects by subjecting them to just the worst movies. And in addition to Felicia Day, she's also going to have her sidekick / minion played by Patton Oswalt.
Perfect.
And right now on IMDb, his name is listed as TV's son of TV's Frank.
Great. I love that.
So, which is just
That's good and ridiculous, just the way I like it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we've got the first trailer for it, just kind of getting you again. What I love about this trailer is that the opening sequence looks just like the really cheesy, cheap model ships landing on this model planet circa 1989 when they did it with the original show.
Right.
Like very obviously they're just tiny models against a background, and they're continuing that with this. They could have gone totally different with it, but they didn't. What's great about this is
like upscaling it and making it look nice.
Yeah, instead, no, they're just keeping that same cheese factor, and I think it looks great. So what was great about this whole reboot is that it was rebooted through a Kickstarter campaign. It was spearheaded by Joel Hodgson and Shout Factory, and it surpassed its goal of funding the production of 14 new episodes, and it set the world record as the highest funded film and TV crowdfunding campaign in history.
Nice.
And I don't even remember by how much they exceeded their amount, but they completely blew past the amount. All the fans wanted this to happen. So not only is this happening, it's probably going to keep happening, guys. So for those of you that just can't wait for this new show to come out, you can actually go on. Netflix has kind of been priming the pump. They've been releasing the best of MST3K. They just released the first series of it, so you can go watch things like what was it? Teenagers from Outer Space, or Santa Claus versus the Martians, and things like that. Just some of the best, or the classic Manos Hands of Fate. You can go watch all these classic episodes, and so you can get yourself ready. But you don't have to wait too long, because the new series will premiere in the not too distant future. April 14th.
So really fun story. Super quick. Okay. Michael Ann loves black and white movies, like the old bad B sci-fi movies. Loves them. Right. So she decided on, I think Saturday, that she was going to turn on an episode of Mystery Science Theater. Mm-hmm. And we interviewed Bridget Nelson recently on the show. So She kind of had a little bit more of a connection listening to the episode. So she decided to watch an episode of MST3K. Well, we're probably 25 minutes in, and she looks over at me and just goes, I forget how hard it is to hear or to follow what's going on in the movie with them just talking over it. It's like, babe, that is so not the point. That is 100% opposite of the point. And then 5 minutes later, she's asleep. It's like, oh my gosh, come on. But yes, I am excited. I am excited for MST3K TV. Yeah. However that works.
Yeah, just the fact that, it was this tiny little thing that they were television, and it just continued to build, and then it went away, and we had riff tracks, and now it's back, guys. What a time to be alive. Lucky us.
Lucky us.
Lucky us. Pineapple.
So Marvel TV is releasing Inhumans soon. We know this. September 1st, it's going to be released in IMAX, and then it's going to trickle down to actual TV. Which is really exciting. We talked about it a lot on the show, so that's not what we're going to focus on. But Marvel TV did just release the new logo for the movie, or for the series, excuse me. They released a logo back at the beginning of Phase 3, where we're still in Phase 3. Yeah, Phase 3.
Yeah.
At the beginning of Phase 3, when they released the launch schedule, and they've decided, since this is going to be a TV show and it's got a lot more going for it, they're going to update the logo, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I really like
arcing.
Yeah, it definitely looks.
With it.
Yeah, it definitely looks like what's printed on a bunch of comics that I own, so that's nice. But the internet is still fighting about whether or not it should have been a TV show, or excuse me, whether or not it should have been a movie versus a TV show, and I think it makes a lot of sense with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. tying really heavily into the Inhumans for like a season and a half. And then one of the main characters being like turning out to be an Inhuman and all this kind of stuff. But the interesting thing to me, and I didn't think about this until I was writing notes for the show, is that this is going to be the first TV show for Marvel TV, excluding the Netflix shows.
Yeah.
Like Marvel actual television, not Marvel Netflix division. Since Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Peggy Carter. And
Which it's been a few years.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years, actually. Peggy Carter was canceled last year. Well, I guess it's only been a few years because that started in 2015. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has been on the air for, I think they're on their 5th season or 6th season?
Something like that, yeah.
It's really interesting that, like, we've had all of this Marvel, quote, television, 4 seasons for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
There you go.
But we've had all this Marvel television, but it hasn't been like a cable show. It's been binge it on Netflix show.
Right.
I think it's really interesting. I'm really intrigued by how it's going to turn out. Just with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. having such a rough first season, Peggy Carter hitting a rough end of first season, early second season, really kicking into gear in the second season, only to wind up getting canceled anyways.
Yeah. Just a shame. But
yeah, just proof that a couple bad episodes will end your TV show.
Yeah.
But yeah, new Inhumans logo. It looks really cool. Check it out. It's on the internet. That's really all I want to talk about. So, Pineapple.
So, just recently, I don't know how long it's been since you've walked into a GameStop.
Like a couple weeks.
Okay, yeah, and actually, I was just in a GameStop. Now that I think about it, a week ago. So
we are
also,
hypocrites.
But we are also I think we're kind of their target audience too. But
kinda.
I don't know how.
Kinda the target audience.
Kinda. But I don't know how many people walk into a GameStop on a regular basis, because clearly not enough, because GameStop has just recently announced that they are closing at least 150 stores worldwide. That is 150 stores makes up about 2% of their worldwide base. They actually said in the announcement that it would be anywhere from 2 to 3% of their stores, so it could go anywhere from 150 stores up to possibly like over 200 stores. But this has been due to significant drops in sales and overall profit for the chain. They've actually seen drops in the double digits in their fourth quarter.
Ouch.
And
in the fourth quarter, no doubt. That's a tough quarter to hit a drop.
Yeah, and especially and they actually said they were saying that they actually lost. They didn't have as much, or they didn't have as much profit during the Christmas season as they were expecting, just with the way that sales happened and online sales happened, and they really weren't equipped to compete with deals that other retailers were doing. And
I'll be honest, I bought a video game straight from EA this year.
Yeah, and that's
so much cheaper.
Exactly, and that's the other thing. Like, a lot of people are now buying their games online because we can get them for cheaper. And that really kind of raises the question: is GameStop going the way of Blockbuster? Is the brick and mortar game store going to go away as people do more and more online shopping? Who knows? I mean, the company's still holding out hope. They've said that they're anticipating that newly released game systems like the Switch will increase foot traffic and will increase sales, especially with a game like with a system from Nintendo, which tends to reach out to a broader audience than just hardcore gamers. So they're hoping that will boost sales. But they're also continuing to expand their non-gaming business, including, I didn't know this, opening 35 new collectible stores just this year.
Let's talk about my least favorite thing about GameStop, and then let's turn it into a store.
Yeah, just like all the little knickknacks that you can buy. And again, which I don't see how that's going to help them, because again, if I want a game figurine or a knickknack or
Amazon.
a t-shirt or anything, I'm going to go to Amazon.
Betweenthecons.com/Amazon.
That's right. You can go. You guys. I mean, sorry, GameStop, but we've got an Amazon affiliate link. So,
They pay
and
us
you don't.
money, and you don't.
So yeah. So it was just an interesting thing because I mean, I've always seen GameStop, and every time I would go to the mall, I always would stop in at GameStop just to see what. And it was good because sometimes you'd catch games on sale for there that you weren't expecting or something, which is always cool. But
Window shopping with a plus.
Yeah, but it definitely is. It is a whole business model that does seem to be a little older, like Blockbuster. That who knows? Maybe we're seeing the beginning of the end for GameStop.
Yeah, and movie stops all went out of business recently as well.
I
don't remember when. I want to say maybe 2-3 years ago. So I mean, it makes sense. Like movie stop, I used to go to movie stop for every movie I bought because you could get it so cheap. And now I get everything on Amazon because it's so much cheaper.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and again, even game systems, like they were saying, they're hoping the game systems, but when I buy the Switch, I'm right now waiting for like a nice package deal for the Switch.
Oh, same. Yeah. I'm waiting for the Breath of the Wild package. Let's be honest.
That's exactly what I'm waiting for. Yeah. But I'm going to wait till I see it online and then I'm going to order it online because
it ships to your house and you don't have to go get it.
Exactly. And lazy.
We are lazy.
So there you go, guys. So if you love GameStop, maybe some bad news for you, but I don't know. Changing the times, they are changing. Pineapple.
So Venom is a movie that's happening. That's cool. It's been talked about. It's been rumored. It's never been confirmed. We've had some people involved with the project say that they were like working on it and stuff. But we've never really gotten any details. Well, until this week. My Entertainment World posted a production listing for Venom stating that it's going to begin filming this fall. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Ish. Couple problems. Venom is still owned by Sony.
Mm-hmm.
That was not a part of the handshake deal between Marvel and Sony for Spider-Man to come to the MCU, so I don't know if it's even going to be connected to the MCU or if it's going to be its own standalone thing.
Oh, no.
One thing that is kind of a glimmer of hope, but also a serious point of resistance for me, it might be rated R. Now, really quick before we carry on past that statement, the genre that was listed for the production listing was action, horror, sci-fi. So I got a couple of things. One, I like that it says all three of those things because all three of those things belong in a Venom movie.
Absolutely.
That being said, I like the fact that horror comes before sci-fi because it's ranked in like... It's like if you ranked each one, action is first, horror is second, sci-fi is third.
Yeah,
and I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would even maybe flip horror and action, so it's horror, action, and sci-fi. But I digress. It's rated R, or it might be rated R. It's not confirmed, but if it is rated R, it will most likely not be connected to the MCU because Marvel will not have that.
Absolutely. No.
And they have been pretty clear that they are not like rushing into an R-rated movie.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, Spider-Man 3 did a beautiful job of ruining Venom.
Just beautifully took a dump.
Beautifully pooped right on his head. So I'm really excited about the movie because it gives the character one of my favorite villains in all of comics. Gives him such a great opportunity to shine. But at the same time, it's like it's Sony. They might ship the bed back to where it came from. So it's I mean it could go either way, and it's the kind of thing that I'm so excited about. It's like when Batman versus Superman just kind of sucked for you. Like that's how I feel this movie is going to be for me. It's just going to be like a kick to the groin.
Like, you're gonna want to like it. You want to pull out the good things in it. Like, but I see this and I see that. But at the same time, it's like, but there's a lot of that really disappointing.
But it's a lot of bad stuff.
And honestly, if Sony's at all smart, because they should be able to look around and see the writing on the wall of, hey, we kind of messed up Spider-Man. Well. We kind of messed up Spider-Man twice. And Marvel, if Spider-Man Homecoming is at all good, then they'll say, hey, Marvel has clearly done something well. So if nothing else, even if Venom isn't a part of that whole handshake deal, they should be like, we should definitely gear this to be in that universe and to make it work. And I don't know, maybe
but let's real talk for a second.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Homecoming is coming out in July, which is summer.
Yeah.
So if Venom is slated to start production in the fall, it could be after Spider-Man Homecoming's released, and it could be like, all right, let's see how this thing goes. If it goes well, it might be an MCU thing that, like, if this Spider-Man movie goes off and it goes off well, we're gonna make this Venom movie, and we're gonna make our first villain-centric movie.
And that would be such a great idea. And I mean, one of the best, not only Spider-Man stories is the Venom saga, but also just one of the best stories in comics.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
And so if they do it well and don't mess it up like they did last time, it would be such a great thing. And Sony, you could honestly make all the money back that you lost on the last.
Yeah, just keep Topher Grace out of it. Just
nowhere near.
Not the right cast. But anyways, really exciting. Starting production this fall. Action, horror, sci-fi, possibly R-rated. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Pineapple.
Speaking of movies that started out great and then just took a dump on themselves, the Terminator franchise.
Yay!
Hey, remember when that was good?
That one there 2 times.
Yeah, I didn't even see Genesis. Did you see Genesis?
Yes, I did. My wife loves Terminator. And we walked out of the theater for Genesis, and I was just like, that movie was garbage. And she was like, I actually liked it. It was like, we are breaking up. That last part didn't actually pan out, but
yeah, because they're married, you guys. Yeah. But and I guess if nothing else, that's a perfect example. Or I guess another example of, like, you can love a franchise, love a character, see a really crappy movie, and still be like, but there was good stuff.
But it was so goodish.
But here's some more news for Terminator. And I would say this is kind of the opposite of the please stop. This is like the thank you. I don't know. This
the please
it was just
do
recently
of the week.
Please do, yes. It was just announced that Arnold Schwarzenegger will not be back as the Terminator. Specifically, Paramount has declined to bring back the original Terminator for any future films. After the very, he had like the option in his contract to come back for future films, and now Paramount is saying, no thanks.
No, you're real bad. You are real bad.
Well, also you're older and just doesn't work as much anymore.
And you get in Twitter fights with the president.
Yeah, they just don't want to deal with that. Because after Terminator Genesis came out in 2015, and it did not do well. After its poor performance, Paramount has completely removed any planned sequels from their release schedule, and it looks like they're not planning to move forward at all. And in the meantime, they're telling Arnold Schwarzenegger, no more. And it's interesting to note, though, because Genesis, it had a budget of $155 million. And it struggled to make just over half of that back in the U.S.
Yeah.
I think it made like $80-something million in the U.S. Mm-hmm. But it did really well in the overseas markets. I mean, it's the whole reason why
we keep getting Transformers movies.
Exactly. Because in the overseas markets, particularly in Asia, in China, South Korea,
they love sci-fi.
They love these big, crazy CGI blockbuster movies.
Go look up. And fun fact for everybody.
Yeah.
Go look up the Expendables for the I am not kidding. Go look up how well the Expendables did overseas. Just go do it. Like, whenever you're bored and you just want to know, just go look it up. Like, not good movies by any stretch of the imagination.
Right.
Entertaining. Like, I'll drink until, like, I start feeling funny and watch them, because then they're actually like entertaining and hilarious. But go look them up. Go look up the Expendables movies. See how well those did overseas.
And just for an example for this one, like I said, Terminator Genisys had a budget of $155 million, barely made half that in the U.S. But in overseas markets, particularly in China, it made $400 million back.
Insane.
Which is amazing to me.
5 times what it made in the U.S.
Yeah, and it's amazing to me because the company, the production studio, still sees that money. But for whatever reason, the producers have fallen out of love with the Terminator franchise and have said no more, at least for the time being. And so they're not moving forward on any more movies.
Because they're becoming the laughingstock of the United States.
Kinda, really. I mean, they still have friends in the country, and they don't want to tell them what they do for a living now.
I don't want my friends to see my name on that poster.
But one final piece of interesting trivia is James Cameron has been very vocal, saying that he loves the Terminator franchise because he got it started, and quite simply, the good ones were the ones he made.
Right.
And James Cameron has said that he wants to reboot the franchise after he regains partial rights to it in 2019.
Great.
So who knows? Maybe Paramount is just going to wait until he can do that. But, of course, I don't really take this super seriously. Or I guess I take it with a huge grain of salt because we'll see how he manages his time around doing that around the 4 Avatar sequels he has yet to start working on. But he keeps on saying, I'm doing it, guys. I've totally got another sequel coming.
Totally doing it. Totally.
In the meantime, I'm building an Avatar park at Disney.
Right.
Which, yeah. So who knows? If you guys, I guess, for all you Terminator fans and Michael Ann, if you're just dying to see another Terminator movie, you might have to wait a couple years, at least until James Cameron gets his old mitts back on it again. And
the
who
turn
knows?
of the decade, at least.
Yeah, we probably will not see another Terminator movie until at least 2020. And by then, will anybody even care? Who knows? But so there you go, guys. Schwarzenegger, the Terminator, no more. Pineapple.
He will not be back. So today, Tuesday, the Spider-Man Homecoming trailer dropped. The second official trailer for the movie. This one had so much mo goodies.
So good.
So the first one we got had a lot of really great footage. We got to see some snippets, some really cool Spider-Man scenes. This one, however, like full of the Vulture, full of like his goons. Tony Stark's in it a little bit more. We see a lot more of Tom Holland just crushing it. I am so amped to see him in it. But one of the really interesting things is it kind of teases that Spider-Man Homecoming is going to follow a little bit more closely with, sort of, a little bit more closely, but not completely close, to its namesake source material. So in Spider-Man Homecoming, basically, Spider-Man comes home after Civil War, and he's kind of like, what do I do with my life kind of thing. And he, like, gives up the Spider-Man suit that Tony Stark gave him, and he kind of has to start over from scratch. And in this one, it's kind of similar, whereas in at the end of the Civil War storyline with Spider-Man Homecoming, it was more of a choice. In the movie, it kind of seems like it's a punishment. So Peter Parker comes home after the events of the Civil War movie, and basically he's like a little cocky. He's sticking his nose where it doesn't belong, and he's over promising and underperforming, basically.
Yeah.
So he's causing more bad than good, and it's causing a problem. And Tony Stark has a conversation with him. He takes the suit back, and then my favorite part of the trailer, we get to see Hoodie Spider-Man, which is my favorite Spider-Man of all the Spider-Men. He has
Spider-Man basically in street clothes.
Yeah, he's like
with goggles,
wearing his hoodie, like blue and red combination. He's got these sweet like welding goggles. It's like when I say it's my favorite Spider-Man, like I am not kidding. It is my favorite Spider-Man look of all time. Of all time.
Yeah, it's just got kind of got that made from scratch, home feel, and
it's awesome.
And it's really interesting because we get to see that in this trailer. We get to see, in the first trailer we saw like that iconic, what is probably gonna be an iconic scene of him like stretched between the two parts of the ship.
Oh yeah.
And in the first trailer, it made it look like that might be the big final fight. Now we know from this second trailer, nope, that's like mid-movie. If even that, if not like the first 30 minutes, maybe the end of the first act,
because that's kind of the moment where Tony Stark is, all right, you're doing too much, you need to chill out.
Yeah, and so we've got so much more to look forward to, and that's exciting.
Yeah, and it looks great. The Vulture looks so good too. I'm really, really pumped about this movie. I think it's going to be a really great, like, restarting point for the Spider-Man franchise.
Yeah. It looks like it. And, Tom Holland looks like he's still just killing it as Peter Parker.
And he's having a good time. And I love when you can tell that an actor is having a good time in their role.
Exactly. And I'll tell you, honestly, one of my favorite, it's a little thing in the trailer, but one of my favorite bits was when his friend sees that he's in the spider suit and then asks him if he can put it on.
And that was amazing.
And so his friend, who's a little chunkier, is wearing the Spider-Man suit, and so it's Spider-Man but a little rounder, and it kind of reminded me of those YouTube videos, Spider-Man. Hey Batman, it's Spider-Man. Yeah. It was just made me laugh. But yeah, the trailer looks great, and it's so we've got a lot of good stuff to look forward to, and it's not that far away.
No, July 7th, 2017, coming out this mid-summer, actually early summer if you go by the equinox.
Yeah. If you're a nerd.
Yeah, I want to punch myself for saying that, so you're welcome. But no, coming out in July 7th. It's going to be a good time. I'm really excited about it. It's also the same week as July 4th. So I'm just going to take that whole week off. Thanks, Dan. Dan's my boss. And he actually might be listening because he does that sometimes. But yeah, pineapple. And that's everything. That's all we've got. There's no more news. We did our 10. That's all you get. You get 10. You get 10 news blurbs.
We made this for you.
I made this for you. Thanks, Julian. Anyways, if you guys are interested in sponsoring the show, check out Patreon. It's like Kickstarter, but monthly. You can find that at betweenthecons.com/Patreon. Check out Satchel Podcast Player, where you can tip and tweet while listening, which is pretty cool. And then also Amazon, which you guys are all familiar with Amazon. Don't pretend like you're not. Amazon, you can go to betweenthecons.com/Amazon, check out our Ace store, and shop from there. Or you can go to the bottom of our website, betweenthecons.com, and use the search bar down there. Now, betweenthecons.com, that's another cool place. If you go there, you can stream all our episodes online, link out to all our social media pages, and if you like our theme music, check out Afixa on Bandcamp. He's a cool dude. You'd like his stuff. And then make sure you guys tune in on Monday, because we're going to be reviewing Ghost in the Shell, coming out this weekend, starring Scarlett Johansson, based on the anime phenomenon by the same name.
One of the greatest animes ever made.
It is excellent. It is very excellent. I strongly suggest, and this is with an air of caution, I strongly suggest checking out the anime before checking out the movie. Not because they're going to line up in more ways than Shallow, but just because I think it'd be a good reference point for you. And I know that probably everyone that's going to review it on Monday has actually seen the anime as well. So make sure you guys check that out. Tune in on Monday. We're going to be talking about that. And you guys have a great week, because that's all we got. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Bye, guys.